of NHK Newsline. I'm Roger Bradan with the news from Tokyo. We begin in northern Japan. A restaurant explosion in a popular entertainment district in Sapporo, Hokkaido has injured at least 4 people. The blast occurred Monday afternoon on the second floor of the building in the Susukino district. Authorities say the injured include 3 women preparing to open the restaurant and a man working outside the building. They say all were conscious when they were taken to hospital. After the sound of the blast, things fell from the ceiling, so evacuated immediately. Police are investigating. They believe gas in the restaurant may have ignited and exploded. Police in central Japan say a car appears to have driven the wrong direction down the expressway in Mie Prefecture on Sunday, causing a series of crashes. This footage shows a vehicle swerving out of the car's way. The blue car is said to have driven 10 kilometers against traffic on the Shin-Meishin Expressway's westbound lane. The car hit 2 vehicles at around 11 a.m. and caused more collisions as drivers tried to avoid it. 4 women in their 40s to 60s were injured. The person behind the wheel of the car is still at large. Police are looking for the driver on suspicion of hit and run. Japan's Princess Aiko has wrapped up a 2-day visit to Ishikawa Prefecture, which is still rebuilding from the devastating earthquake that struck the Noto Peninsula in January last year. The daughter of Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako arrived at Kanazawa Station on Sunday. The visit was her first to a disaster-hit area as part of her official duties. Her parents made 3 trips to the region last year. The princess, the emperor, and the empress are hoping those affected will be able to live with peace of mind as soon as possible. Princess Aiko visited a temporary housing unit in the city of Bulacan. She met elderly residents exercising to music guided by a physiotherapist. On Monday, the princess visited temporary shops in the town of Shika. She spoke with managers and staff in 5 stores, offering words of encouragement. Princess Aiko also met with volunteers in the town before she departed from Kanazawa Station. Staying with Japan, officials in Kanagawa Prefecture near Tokyo have held an emergency meeting after reports Nissan Motor may shutter local plants. 2 factories are reportedly included in a cost-cutting plan.
If the plants are closed, it would have a massive impact on the local economy and employment.
The governor's remarks came before officials had held an emergency meeting about measures to take if the closures are implemented. The governor also asked Nissan to try and minimize the impact. Officials say Nissan told them Monday nothing had been decided. The automaker aims to reduce its global workforce by 20,000 and cut 7 production sites around the world by fiscal 2027. Sources say the plan includes 2 factories in Kanagawa Prefecture. The Osama plant is one of them. It's been one of Nissan's main production sites for many years. As of last October, it had a workforce of about 3,900. Businesses around the factory are worried about their future. The owner of a fast food store near the automaker says he was shocked to hear the news.
Reports say the company is considering closing the factory. I hope they decide not to.
He says if Nissan's workers are no longer around, his business will face a very difficult situation. Strikes have killed in the Gaza Strip. The Israeli military says it's launched extensive ground operations in the northern and southern parts of the island.
We bring back all the hostages.
Free Palestine!
A separate rally in Paterson, New Jersey, called attention to the region's history of suffering. Palestinians called the day after Israel's founding the Nakba, which is the Arabic word for catastrophe. It refers to the mass displacement of Palestinians during the Arab-Israeli War in 1948. Paterson is often called Little Palestine because of its large Palestinian population.
We see people like us suffering, we feel that this is, we have to help them. We are human beings, let's accept this to happen to us.
Paterson's deputy mayor took part in the rally. He called on the U.S. administration to help end the killing of Palestinians. Next, Romania is hoping to turn the page on its worst political crisis in decades. Its presidential election will now be seen as a pivotal moment for its relationship with the European Union. The popular right-wing candidate has now conceded defeat. With all the ballots counted, the election authority says George Simeon laps with 46% of the vote. Bucharest mayor and president-elect Nikosor Dan, who's a centrist, won with over 53%. Dan declared victory shortly after midnight local time and called for national unity.
Romania începe. Tomorrow, Romania will enter a new phase, and it needs each and every one of you. It needs specialists to get involved in different policies. It needs people engaged in civil society. It needs new faces in politics. Through this campaign, you've proven that you can do it. Please continue to be active for Romania.
Și așa cum ați dovedit că puteți să faceți campania asta, vă rog să continuați să activați pentru România.
Dan is staunchly pro-EU and pro-NATO. He said Romania's support for Ukraine is vital for its own security against the growing Russian threat. Despite initially saying he won the election, Simeon later took to social media to concede.
We lost the second round of the election. I had over 5 million votes. My counter candidate won with an extra 1 million votes. We cannot accuse significant tampering with the ballots.
Simeon ran a campaign criticizing both the EU and aid to Ukraine. He won the most votes in the first round earlier this month. This election was effectively a rerun. The first vote in November sparked cries of foul play. The pro-Russian candidate, Kalin Georgescu, came out on top. His social media strategy was a hallmark of his campaign. But the Constitutional Court nullified those results. Declassified government documents suggested some TikTok videos backing Georgescu were being promoted by pro-Russia forces. Georgescu was then banned from the race. Now, Romania is the latest in a string of countries where the right wing has threatened to upset the established order. Simeon lost in the end, but his promise to protect the interests of the people proved a big draw.
Simeon is a hardline conservative. He places importance on Romania's sovereignty and says he works in the interest of the people.
We will oppose illegal migration.
U.S. President Donald Trump's America First policy is a benchmark for Simeon and his political backers. And Simeon was keen to tap into Georgescu's support base. Simeon emphasized their close relationship, and he said during his campaign he would consider naming Georgescu as Prime Minister. And many people who voted for Georgescu in the first election threw their support behind Simeon ahead of the rerun.
Simeon is ideologically close to Georgescu. No other politicians have ever thought about what the people want.
Simeon harnessed the power of TikTok. He has 1.5 million followers on TikTok, far more than his rivals, and he repeatedly criticized the mainstream media.
There are as many as 200,000 people here. The media are liars. Please spread this video. We are the representatives of the Romanian people.
His rise to prominence could be attributed to public dissatisfaction about Romania's economy and government. Inflation stubbornly hovers around 5%. That's the highest in the European Union. Millions of Romanians have moved abroad in search of work, while many others are angry at the main political parties after a series of money scandals. Romania is a country in flux, and one expert says this could be the tip of the iceberg. Polarization is at a historic high, and I think people are dissatisfied for good reasons with the establishment, the political institutions, and they don't trust institutions, they don't trust traditional media.
And for more on the election, Yamata, Arina, and I earlier spoke to NHK World Tanaka Kenji in Bucharest.
The leaders of Thailand and Indonesia have agreed to upgrade their countries' ties to a strategic partnership. The move comes amid a wider regional push to strengthen diplomatic relations.
As founding members of ASEAN and major economies of the region, Thailand and Indonesia will join hands in making ASEAN stronger at a time of global economic and geographical uncertainty.
We agreed to deepen security cooperation through closer leader and agency level visit and dialogue.
The two sides also agreed to enhance cooperation in combating transnational crimes, especially online scams and human trafficking. Diplomatic bonds are tightening across Southeast Asia. Last week, Thailand and Vietnam boosted their relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership. Vietnam and Singapore did the same in March. Analysts see this push for closer partnerships within ASEAN as a response to uncertainty in U.S. foreign policy under the Trump administration, including over tariffs. People of Japanese descent in the Philippines have called on the Japanese government to do more to help them gain citizenship. They were left behind in the chaos of World War II. An association of Japanese descendants celebrated its 45th anniversary on Sunday in the southern city of Davao. Some of the 300 participants wore yukata, traditional Japanese summer wear. The group supports people born to Japanese fathers and Filipino mothers before and during the war. They struggled after their fathers died or were deported to Japan. Even now, 49 individuals who claim their fathers were Japanese remain stateless and are seeking recognition from Tokyo. In their final years, they're trying to collect documents and testimony to prove their kinship. I hope the Japanese government will recognize me as a daughter of a Japanese man called Matsuda. I want to meet the Matsudas in Japan before I die. Minister Hanada Takahiro of the Japanese embassy attended the event. He reiterated his government's commitment to help the descendants gain citizenship as soon as possible. Australia's ruling Labour Party won a majority of seats in a general election earlier this month. With vote counting ongoing, a record-breaking number of women are set to win seats in the House of Representatives. And Jennifer Walpole reports on the election that women helped shape.
The ruling Labour Party, headed by Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, has been introducing quotas for women to aim for gender equality in the country. About half of the Parliament and Cabinet members are women. We asked a Labour politician what they are doing to increase the number of female lawmakers.
And we have to predict how long a member of Parliament on average through central parts of the United States over the weekend, but more may be on the way. Our meteorologist Johnson now has the outlook for there and elsewhere in our World Weather Report.
Hello, as it went through the weekend, areas in places like Missouri and Illinois and Kentucky were hit with some very powerful storms. It's a very difficult situation for those living in the area. Here's a look at some of the video and give you an idea of the situation on the ground. Severe tornadoes hit the region on Friday and Saturday. It killed nearly 30 people and it left nearly 500,000 without power. So St. Louis, an EF3 tornado damaged 5,000 homes, and the twister extended to around 1.6 kilometers wide at times. Kentucky, at one location you can see here, experienced the deadliest damage, and residents are now trying to clean up, but more severe weather is expected in the region through Tuesday, including the risk of additional tornadoes. We have a couple of low-pressure systems that are moving to the Central Plains, and so areas like Oklahoma and into Texas, up into Kansas, we'll be looking at the possibility of seeing some pretty powerful sort of an outbreak possibly as we go through Monday. And then we go to Tuesday, we'll see the system shifting to the east. The same areas that were impacted from the past weekend on Saturday, we'll look at the possibility of seeing some more damage with this setup. So it's a difficult time with the system, another system rolling on through. So we're looking at that instability continuing today on Tuesday. Chicago looking at a big drop in temperatures with that storm moving on through with a high of 11 as we go through the day. Meanwhile, looking at what's happening across Europe, low pressure system down to the south and west. That's going to be pushing toward the east into Italy, and that's going to bring some rain to Rome as we go through Tuesday. But other areas seeing temperatures in the mid to upper 20s, so definitely seeing the warmer pattern now taking a hold across the continent as we go through the day. Across Japan, we have a stationary front that's been kind of drifted across the Pacific side of the country with a couple of low-pressure systems moving into the north. That'll bring some rain as we go through the day on Tuesday. By the way, I'm coming now into the rainy season. Rain to Niigata and Sapporo with high in the 20s for Tuesday. That's what your forecast. Hope you have a good day wherever you are. That wraps up this edition of NHK Newsline. I'm Raja Prada in Tokyo. There's much more to come on NHK World Japan, so please, just stay with us.